morning, witches. Welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm Sunshine, your Saturday hostess. And this week's topic is advice to newbies to the path or the practice, I guess. So, I have already seen the previous videos that have been posted by my other co-hosts, and the information that they've covered has been just absolutely phenomenal. So I think I'm just going to have to address this as I would if I were talking to somebody one-on-one. To start with, I want to say there's two kinds of people who are attracted to the craft, or to paganism, or to Wicca or witchcraft, or whichever one it is. The first kind is a person who is actually born to it. For instance, if you have a very close family member and you're raised in a magical household or a pagan household, or then I would have to say those people are extremely lucky and probably don't need a whole lot of advice from somebody like me, because you've already gotten a lot of your instilled beliefs from your family members, from whoever it is that's in your family that's been able to help you. The next is a person who has decided that, and I mean absolutely no offense here, and this is a personal opinion, okay? So the second is a person who has either been a Christian or has been more of an agnostic, meaning that they possibly believe in a higher power, but not necessarily the Christian God or God Almighty, as you might say, in the Christian belief. And those are the people that I'm going to more direct this towards, because I know sometimes this can be a little bit confusing, but I want you to understand that there is no steadfast rule into coming into the path. There is no hard cast book or training or group or coven or anything like that that will practice or has structure exactly like another. So the problem usually is, where do I start? And I would have to say that this is going to be no different than if you were deciding to follow the Christian background, or even if we're going to leave religion, let's say a political background. Let me give an example. You want to go and vote. You want to go and vote for the president. You want to go and vote for who is going to be our next president. You don't just go down to the booth and, you know, toss a coin and select one. Or at least I hope that's not what you're doing. Hopefully you've done a little bit of research and you know a little bit about all of the representatives that are on the ballot, and what you've done is you've chosen the one who has beliefs or seems to have the same callings that you want to see happen for your government. And it's no different with following a pagan background. Now, I am not Wiccan. So although I have done the day in a year many years ago, simply because I wanted that research background, I wanted to know what it was like to be pagan, because I was actually, or excuse me, Wiccan, I was actually possibly interested in that at one time. But my background actually falls in Appalachian magic, which for anybody who knows anything about Appalachian magic or witchcraft, you know that that's actually Christian based. So although my grandparents were very strong believers in the Christian God, they also practiced magic, although my grandmother would never have called it that. So what I have done in my path over 30 years is I have attuned it to a belief system and a grounding and a spiritual thing that fits me with whom I choose to honor and the practices that I carry, and which basically makes me an eclectic witch. I have a mixture of backgrounds, I guess you could say, which is okay. If your spiritual calling calls for that, it's okay. So, back to what I was saying. Where do you start? You want to start with research. You want to start with, what do I want? What am I wanting out of this? What is it that I am hoping to accomplish with this spiritual path that I'm about to venture on? And you need to make a choice about what it is that you're after. Be it a naturalist, a visionary, somebody who is wanting guidance and wants to connect with a god or a goddess that has the same beliefs and carries. Okay, you basically want to find something that calls to you. And the best way to do that is research. Now, I've pulled a couple of books that I personally think are good ones to start with. Now, I say to start with because this will give you a basis on whether or not it connects with you. Does it make sense to you? Does it call to you? And by no means are these books 100% what I believe. There are portions of them that I have read that have led me in the directions that I have gone to find what I want to learn. So paganism, or following the spiritual path of paganism, is sometimes a little bit of a puzzle. And you have to put those pieces together to suit your soul. So let me show you a couple of the books that I think, and these are some of them are fairly recent books, but I think that they might help somebody who's wanting to start that pagan path at least get an idea of a direction that they want to go, okay? So let's start with a book that was actually gifted to me, and I absolutely love this book. This is the Witch's Craft by Raven Grimassi. This man is incredible, and I really fell in love with a lot of the things that he said in here. Now, I'm not going to go into detail because I want you to read it, and I don't want to influence your beliefs to follow mine. That's something you have to be very careful with. You don't want to be completely influenced by another person to follow their beliefs, because then basically what you're doing is you're joining a cult. And that is not what paganism is about. So, this would be one of the top ones that I think you should put on your list and that you should do some reading into, okay? Okay. Another one that I think has some very good information in it is, and I love this author, he's just incredible, is The Witch's Book of the Dead by Christian Day. Very connected, almost instructional, but again, not everything out of this book connects with me, but it does give me some insight and a direction as to another place where I might want to do some research in. Now, of course, I incorporate all of my beliefs into the things that I learn, and to this day I am still learning, I am still soaking up knowledge, and I still love the fact that I can learn something new every day. Every day I can learn something new, and I love it. So another one is, and I know I'm going to get so much hell out of this, I do not follow word by word by these books. But I have to admit, Silver Ravenwolf in this book touched some very good points for witchcraft and Wicca, and gives you lots of things to think about, lots of things to go back to. I know she's very foo-foo, and I do not agree with her when it comes to her approach to adolescence and how young people should possibly address their pagan path. Sometimes it's almost deceit she encourages deceit to parents, and I don't agree with that at all. And she's a little foo-foo sometimes, almost, the Hollywood style. But this is another one of her books. Now, she has several, but this is the one that I would recommend, The Solitary Witch. This is the one that I would recommend. And then, finally, get you something that's going to be a little bit of fun and have some information on it on a daily basis. And they're not too terribly expensive, but they will also give you reason to do some research, for instance, on the Esbats and the Sabbats and recipes and all kinds of things. And that's going to be A Witch's Almanac. The Witch's Almanac, if you go to it day by day, go to it every day and just read the little clip, you'll see in here that there are things in here that will actually cause you to stop and think, okay, but what is that? Or I didn't think of that. Or, and give you reason to go and do some more research. So, The Witch's Almanac. Okay, so that's to start with, okay? I want you to keep in mind that there is no steadfast rule. There is structure. There's a difference. There is structure. And I do know that I have some friends out there that are new to the craft that unfortunately have come across some people claiming to be mentors or teachers and have run into some very foul experiences, and I think that's really sad. You have to be very careful with who you select to be a mentor or who you want to entrust your spiritual path with. Messages. Do your research. It's no different than you joining a church. You don't just walk into a church and you're 100% in the Christian faith. You need to know what it is that you're looking for. You need to know what it is that you're going after and start putting those puzzle pieces together. Don't put 100% faith into everyone that you talk to. Unfortunately, there are some people out there that are after nothing but money, and it's sad, but that's what they're after. So, the rest of the information that I really think that you need, you're probably going to find on the other channel. I know I have been asked by several people about who I worship. That's coming up next week. Hi, sweetie. Want to be in the video? Can you speak? No? Are you running away? He doesn't want to be in the video. It's my husband. Anyway, so just be very careful in the people that you trust. Don't be open-hearted to everybody and everything. Do your research. Use your intuition. That's huge in our craft. If it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. Don't start off by thinking that you can automatically throw together a spell and it's going to be 100% and we're Harry Potter and we can throw sparks from our fingertips, and because that's not what it's about. And when it comes to who we worship, what we worship, when we worship, I believe that's coming up next week. So I'm not going to discuss that now. If you have any questions, please post them below. I perhaps might try to do a Q&A on my channel. So if you have any questions, post them down below and I will be sure to do a follow-up video maybe in a week or so and post it to my channel, answering any newbie questions that you may have. And remember, this was my opinion, this is my belief, this is how I feel about things, this is how I have gone about things. It's not steadfast, it's not 100%, and it doesn't always suit everybody, but it works for me. So, okay, so I guess that's enough said really on this subject. I hope that I helped in some small way. But until next time, love y'all. Have a good evening, have a good weekend, have a good day. Wow, my color just changed on my video big time. What'd you do? Charlie, are you playing games? Stop it. Love you guys. Have a good weekend. Mwah. Blessed be. Bye-bye.